Hello and welcome. You're watching WION World is One with me, Ananya Datta, and we begin this broadcast with some breaking news coming in from West Asia. The Israeli foreign minister has finally confirmed that Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar has been quote-unquote eliminated. Earlier, the Israeli cabinet had been told that Sinwar was most likely killed, but now we can confirm that the Hamas chief has been killed. The families of Israeli hostages are asking Israeli government to use this as an opportunity to bring back those who are held in captive across Gaza. And the Israeli defense minister tweeted earlier, and I'm quoting from that, "We will reach every single terrorist and eliminate them." The Israeli military had also said that it has completed its initial investigation into whether one of the three individuals killed by Israeli defense forces in Gaza was Hamas's leader Yahya Sinwar. And as we just told you, the foreign ministry has confirmed this, that one of the three that was killed in one of the operations carried out by the IDF inside Gaza was Yahya Sinwar. Let me quickly tell you how this exactly transpired in the last couple of hours. We heard from the IDF that about 3 militants were killed in an operation in Gaza, and upon inspecting of the building that was targeted, Israel then realized that one of the killed militants had stark resemblance to the Hamas chief, and just moments ago we were then confirmed that it was indeed Yahya Sinwar. And to get us the latest, our correspondent Jody Cohen is joining us from Israel on the phone line. Jody, after hours of speculations, the foreign ministry has finally confirmed the killing of the Hamas chief. What else are you hearing?
Hi, Ananya. So, this is absolutely breaking news, but we've now just also heard that the Israel Defense Forces and Israel Security Service have both now officially confirmed the killing of Yahya Sinwar. Now, this reportedly happened in an IDF strike on Wednesday. As you said, 3 terrorists were killed, and one was seen to have a likeness to Sinwar. And Israel carried out DNA testing, and that has now been confirmed that Sinwar is dead. Now, Sinwar, remember, was Hamas's chief. This is Israel's #1 target in Hamas, and he was the architect of Hamas's massacre in Israel, in which 1,200 people were killed and more than 250 people were taken hostage. Now, we are also hearing that Prime Minister Netanyahu is due to give a statement this evening, but Foreign Minister Katz has become the first Israeli minister to officially confirm that the IDF has killed Sinwar.
Right, Jody, the IDF has also released a statement, and I'm quoting from it. In the building where the quote-unquote terrorists were eliminated, there were no signs of the presence of hostages in the area. The forces that are operating in the area are continuing to operate within the required caution. Now, this begs the question, Jody, what happens to the hostages who are still alive in Gaza? Because we are hearing from some of the families of the hostages, they're already registering their worry. In fact, we're just also hearing one of the top diplomats from Israel who says that Hamas chief's killing should be an opportunity for swift hostage release.
So this is obviously breaking news and still, but we are hearing that, first of all, earlier this afternoon, we heard from the Prime Minister's office, once the rumours were circulating on social media that Sinwar may have, Prime Minister's office said to the hostage, basically got in touch with the hostage families to say that when this terrorist was killed, that no hostages were with those terrorists killed. Now, that was important in order to reassure them, because we had been hearing that Sinwar had surrounded himself by a number of hostages, and that if Israel targeted him, that those hostages would be killed. So that was the first thing we heard about that. We've also heard a report, this hasn't been confirmed, but Israel's media has reported that Sinwar has been with those 6 hostages that were executed recently, and that potentially this is why he was not with the hostages when he was killed. But now the hostages' families forum is calling for a deal and for work to be done to secure the release of the 101 remaining hostages. I mean, Yair Lapid, who's the leader of the opposition, he has already made a statement suggesting that Israel should place passage to those in Hamas who return hostages to Israeli soldiers. So this is being seen potentially as an opportunity for something now to happen. Sinwar was said to be against doing the deal and returning the hostages at this stage. Now that he has been eliminated, there are more questions than I can give answers for, but there's who will take over Hamas? Would Hamas surrender? Would whoever potentially takes over now take the opportunity to do a deal and to release the hostages? And I mean, we're hearing also that, Defense Minister Gallant has said that Israel will reach every terrorist and eliminate them. Maybe this is the opportunity now where this is a big psychological blow to Hamas. Maybe, they could be weaker organizationally from this. Potentially this could bring Israel closer to achieving its war goals.
Absolutely, Jody. You rightly pointed out this does leave more questions than answers. Also, we were also receiving reports earlier that said that Yahya Sinwar was not actually the target in this specific operation that was taking place in Gaza. But it was well known Yahya Sinwar was the prime target of Israel for years. So now that he's dead, do you expect the IDF to alter its plans in Gaza?
So if you look at, Foreign Minister Katz was the first. Sinwar was killed. He sent a message to his ministerial counterparts, and in it he called it a victory for the entire free world against the evil axis. I'm reading this against the evil axis of radical Islam led by Iran. He also said that the killing creates the possibility for getting hostages out and creating a Gaza free of Hamas and Iranian control, and said that Israel needs the support of its allies and assistance now more than ever to advance these important goals together. So potentially this could be an opportunity not just to get some of the hostages, maybe all of the hostages out. Obviously we're taking like 3 steps ahead. Right now all we know is that Sinwar has been killed. We don't know what Hamas's next move will be. But Foreign Minister Katz potentially sees an opportunity to secure the release of some of the hostages and also potentially to create a Gaza free of Hamas control.
Right. Jody, if you could stay with us. Our correspondent Susan Tehrani is joining us from New York on the phone line. Susan, if you can hear me, where does this exactly sit, Washington, D.C.?
Well, we are getting reports right now that the Republican House Speaker has put out a statement. He says that he applauds the killing of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, saying his death had brought, quote, relief to the people of Israel. A direct quote from him is, Sinwar's life was the embodiment of evil and marked by hatred for all that is good in the world. This is Mike Johnson speaking through a statement. His death brings hope for all those who seek to live in freedom and relief to Israel he has sought to oppress. We're also now getting reports from Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, in response to the elimination of Hamas leader. And Yahya Sinwar, remember, was the October 7th architect. He says, quote, our IDF forces eliminated Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas and chief architect of October 7th massacre. Yesterday at the UN Security Council, many asked why we are still in Gaza a year after October 7th atrocities. Today, they got the answer. No terrorist is immune to the long arm of the IDF. We will not stop until we bring home all of our hostages and eliminate the Hamas monsters. Remember, yesterday was a Security Council meeting called by the UK. It was the first time that the United States really put the pressure on Israel, saying that it should allow humanitarian aid into Gaza, or it threatened to withdraw some security assistance and military assistance to the country and its strongest ally in the Middle East. So that's the meeting that he was referring to.
All right, Susan, thank you so much for all those updates from New York. Jody, if you're with us still, you earlier mentioned that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to release a statement or address the nation today evening. What should one expect? Because I think not just in West Asia, but the international observers, what they would be looking for is hints about where this war is heading.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, he will officially, on behalf of Israel, confirm that Sinwar has been killed. He is likely, I would say, based on what he said recently in speeches, he's likely to appeal to the Gazan people in a similar way that he people in an address to them. So he's likely to appeal potentially for them to return hostages to Israeli soldiers. Potentially he'll outline incentives for them to do that. He's likely to talk about the possibilities. He's likely to call on Israel's allies to support them in putting pressure on Hamas to surrender so that Gaza can be ruled without Hamas control, without Iranian control. And we're just hearing also that Israel's President Herzog has given a statement. He's congratulated the Israel Defense Forces. He said that Sinwar's evil endeavors were dedicated to terror, bloodshed and destabilizing the Middle East. And he said now more than ever, we must act in every way possible to bring back the 101 hostages who are still being held in horrific conditions by the Hamas terrorists in Gaza. And also more breaking news, I mean, it's just coming in because this is obviously really big news for the region right now. The PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, is meeting following the death of Sinwar. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas is chairing an emergency meeting to discuss these developments.
All right, Jody, we'll have to leave you with that. Thank you so much for all those updates from Israel. And for those of you who are just joining in, we can confirm that the Hamas chief, Yahya Sinwar, has been eliminated in Gaza. This was first confirmed by the Israeli Foreign Ministry and has now been confirmed by the Israeli military as well. And this, of course, changes the course of the war, the multi-front war that Israel is fighting in West Asia. And we're yet to see what kind of an impact this brings to not just the region, but also to the world. This is a developing story, and we've been covering this very closely with our correspondent in Israel,